Hello, my lovers. How you been? I know you guys have not heard this English accent in a minute, but you know what? I figured I'd bring her out today. Yeah, I need some work, guys. I need some work, but I'm getting there. I've been practicing. Anyways, welcome back to my channel, guys. I hope that you guys have been having a fabulous week so far. I can't complain. I had some really great news this week, which I'm super excited about. I'll be sharing with you guys in the near future. I've been talking about this for a minute and have not gotten a chance. Well, it's not time yet. So I just wanted to, have a couple of things together before I actually say anything. So definitely you guys will be seeing, getting some updates on my vlog channel. I have not posted on that channel in a while. I do have tons of footage, tons of content. I just need to edit and start posting again. No, I've been slacking. I always say this, but I'm still getting it together. Anyway, just wanted to say welcome back, guys, for all of you who have been watching, commenting, or just interacting with me. Thank you guys so much. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome aboard. On this channel, we talk about any and everything self-therapy. So if you're not ready to do the work, this may not be the channel for you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on your post notification bells. So whenever I post new content, you guys are notified first. Now, with that being said, guys, let's jump right into the video. So guys, I'm sure you guys see the title of this video, which means you already know what we're getting ready to talk about. And that is, why is it so hard to leave a toxic relationship? Unhealthy relationship, abusive relationship, however way you guys want to put it. But what makes it so hard for people to make the decision to leave? And sometimes even when they so-called leave, they end up going back. It's easy to fall back into that place. And I wanted to just touch base on that tonight. I'm sure it's nothing new. People talk about this all the time, but I don't think it's ever enough for us to actually talk about this and bring awareness to it. Because no matter how much we hear about it, no matter how much some people's loved ones try to show them this is unhealthy, it's easier said than done. And being on the outside looking in a situation, it's not as easy for a person to just get up and leave. And that's for various reasons, which we're going to be touching bases on in this video. Obviously, if it was that easy to walk away from, then it wouldn't be so toxic, right? Obviously. So, I just wanted to jump into that today and to see what are some of the things that could possibly cause a person to either stay longer than they should in a toxic situation, or going back after they have gotten the opportunity to leave or found the strength to somewhat leave, right? I like to do a little bit of research when I'm speaking on these topics, only because I don't want to just speak from my perspective, but I also want to hear from other people's perspective. And sometimes I'll ask questions, do polls, and another time I'll just go online and I just research and just to hear other things. All right, so far with my research and just talking to others, there are a lot of things that could possibly cause a person to stay longer, as I was stating. However, there are some common ones. I've said this in past videos, and this is a thing that I believe firmly, that anything that you feed will grow, right? If you have a drug addiction and you have yourself surrounding the substance, obviously you're going to be tempted. Same thing if you are an alcoholic and you sit in a bar, you're going to be tempted. It's the same thing with toxicity. You feed it, it will grow. It becomes normal. it doesn't mean that you're not feeling the pain or the consequences that come with your toxic environment, whatever that may look like. But what happens is this has become such a normal or natural thing for you that you can't even recognize who you are without it, right? It's like a drug. And what happens is when it's time for you to kind of separate yourself, it's like you're going through a withdrawal, like any kind of addiction, any drinking, sex, anything that your body's used to, and it becomes the norm for your body to function. When it's time for you to take that away, you go through a withdrawal process. And it's the same thing with unhealthy relationships, right? So whatever you feed is what will grow. Research does show that there are some similarities that when the body, similarities of withdrawal, like some chemicals that the brain sends to the body, that whenever you're going through a withdrawal from any other addiction, it's very similar to when you're going through some kinds of breakup. So there's some similarities that could possibly be the reason why people always tend to want to go back, because it feels more natural, or it's easier than going through the withdrawal. So as I said before, there are more common reasons than others why people decide to stay or find it harder to walk away from an unhealthy relationship. One of those reasons is the obvious. They love the person, right? Just because they have bad ways doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have a good side to them. And what naturally happens when you love a person, you tend to hold on to the good parts of the relationship, the good parts of the person, and you kind of try to compensate for what that person is doing, because in your mind, I know you have it in you. I know this person has good in them. So to ease the pain from what you're going through, or to take the easier route from doing what you know that you need to do, you constantly replay the good as a way to cope through the situation. All right. Not all love is good love. Just because a person is toxic, or a situation is toxic, does not necessarily mean you don't love the person, but it's not always the best thing. So you find that we hold on to the good times, or we hold on to who the person used to be, or how the person used to treat us, just a way of coping with what the current situation is, or how the current person is treating you. Okay. All right. So the other part to that is, just because a person is making slow improvement does not necessarily mean that it's still not toxic or unhealthy. They are still not toxic or unhealthy, or the situation is still not toxic or unhealthy, or does not necessarily mean that you must stay. So sometimes people stay holding on to the hope of, the person changing. Hey, they weren't like this before, they're doing a little bit better, so we're holding on with the hopes of that person becoming better and completely changing what they are, or changing what the situation is. So that's another reason why a person may stay a little bit longer than they need to in an unhealthy relationship. Here's a big one: thinking that you can change the person, or they will change for you. That's a huge one. Now, that's a very common one, actually. So you find that people constantly stay in a relationship because they feel like they can make this person change. So you become Dr. Save everybody, for the best word. you want to save that person. You can make them change. You can make them see what they're doing in hopes that they will change. You tend to change things about yourself or how you think is the right way to handle a situation or a person to accommodate them, with the fear of triggering the person or making the situation worse. Or it could be the opposite of that, where, oh, I need to make you see who you are. So you meet that person where they are and start going toe to toe. And next thing you know, you both are triggering off or firing at each other. That is actually creating the environment. So everybody's contributing to the toxicity in the relationship. Right? So that's another reason, which is very common, by the way. Very, very common. Because you love them, it seems like the normal thing. This is what a relationship should be like. Another common one is people don't feel worthy enough to walk away from a situation. They feel like, what else is on the other side? The grass is not always green on the other side. I know what I have here, so I might as well stay. And then, when you're dealing with people that's manipulative, like for instance, whenever you say, I am going to leave because this is not for me, then all of a sudden the attitude changes, or that person does everything they possibly can to try and everything that they know that you want to see or feel or hear. All of a sudden they start to do all of those things on account of showing you, hey, I'm changing. And because you really want the relationship to work, you really want to be with this person, then again you start clinging on to hope and say, oh, maybe this time he's being honest or she's being honest. Maybe this time this is for real. And then the minute you stay, the person falls back into their old habits. So that's another reason that you may stay longer than you necessarily need to stay in an unhealthy relationship. Another one is some people make a conscious decision to stay. Not that they are naive that it is toxic. It's not that they don't know that things are is not the way that it should be or it needs to be. It's not that they don't feel the unhappiness. But some people they decide maybe for some reasons it's more worth it to stay than to leave. Some of those instances could be maybe there's children involved, maybe it's a marriage, maybe it's the time frame, because a lot of people put time, kind of equate loyalty to time. How long we've known each other, how long we've been friends, or how long we've been in a relationship, and they don't want to throw that away. So they stay, they make that sacrifice and just willing to deal with the consequences rather than to walk away and lose everything. So that's another reason that they may stay. And on to the next thing is that sometimes it's what people know. It's their comfort zone. This is something that they've learned how to cope in as long as they've known themselves. So you find that it's nothing new to them. It's almost like growing up, they had a saying and guys, I'm by no means calling any human beings pigs. This is just a figure of speech. I'm from Jamaica, so we have a lot of those. So it says, I think it goes something like, you can take the pig out the mud, wash him, clean him, everything, but that pig will still go back into that mud because that's what they're used to. I probably didn't say it right, but y'all get the drift, right? You get the drift. I might not say it right, but you get the drift. So I said all of that to say is that sometimes people are they stay in a toxic situation or unhealthy situation because that's all they know. Growing up, that's what they saw. that's how they express themselves. It has to be toxic. It feels uncomfortable to be in peace, like life is not happening. And yes, it sounds weird for some people, but this is actually facts. People actually feel uncomfortable if it's not, chaotic or toxic, right? Some people also find it harder to leave because they rely on the other person. You see that a lot into romantic relationships where one person is more financially stable than the other, and leaving may not be as easy because they may not, be able to survive on their own. So you find that some people stay in situations based on that. So they rely on the other person, and not just financially. It could be anything. It could be a person that needs somebody else to help take care of them because of health reasons. It could be anything. So for some people, it's not as easy to just get up and walk away from a situation that they know that, they shouldn't be in anymore. So that's another reason. And last but not least, we could also look at it from a different perspective, where sometimes people don't leave a toxic situation because it doesn't matter where they go, toxicity is going to follow them because they are the toxic one. We don't like to admit these things, but sometimes we are the one that's bringing that toxic energy. Sometimes we are the person that is, helping to feed that, or you know what I'm saying? So we don't like to admit this or have some toxic traits. And again, I like to tell everybody, you have to look into yourself. Sometimes you don't hear from anybody else, so you have to look into yourself and see what are some of the things that you may be doing that's contributing to the toxic environment, and what you can do differently with that. So yeah, guys, that's it. That is only some of the reasons why a person may stay longer in a toxic situation than they need to. But guys, if you are experiencing this, if you are are one of those people, look into yourself and see if there's anything that you are contributing, or even just see what would be the reason that you are actually staying in that situation when you know you deserve better. You know that you can actually walk away. You know it's not healthy for you in any aspect, mentally, physically, emotionally. And hopefully, by doing so, you may be able to identify what can be done and to make a better or healthier decision in walking away from the situation or changing your ways if you are contributing to that. Okay, guys? So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment down below. Please make sure that you guys subscribe to my channel and turn on your post notification bell for future videos. With that being said, guys, I am going to love you guys and leave you until next time. Bye for now.